Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you happen to be watching this. Welcome back to another video on my channel. We're going to be doing something a little bit different today. Kind of a brand new series where I'm going to be going through many different football topics over the, however long I decided to do this kind of series, where we talk about issues in football. I ask you guys on Twitter a question and then want you to get involved. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, link will be down in the description below. Go over there, hit the follow button, and then every so often a question will come up and I want you guys to get involved. So that's what I did on Twitter. I asked you the question, should the January transfer window be scrapped so the players can sign for clubs whenever they like? We've had a few of you get involved in the comments of that particular question, but before we get into your comments, I'm going to give my 2 cents on it. Now, for me personally, I think the transfer window should be scrapped, and I think for my sort of reason why, I think that if a player and a club agree a fee between each other, they should be able to move around whenever they like. For me, that's what I personally feel. If a manager can move clubs whenever he wants and a fee can be agreed in terms of compensation, if manager, coaches, all that kind of stuff like that could be done, why should player movement be restricted? If you got a new job and you said, right, yeah, that's it, I'm handing in my notice, I don't care, whatever the case may be, I'm moving to my new job. And somebody turned around to you and goes, actually, nah mate, sorry, it's November, you're going to have to wait till January to do that. Sorry, what? Yeah, you're not within your transfer window, can't do that. Gosh darn it. Do you know what I mean? That for me is a very, very, very bizarre situation. As I said, if you've got somebody like Pep Guardiola, he gets offered the Barcelona job again, he can go whenever he wants. Any manager up and down the football league can go whenever they want, but yet players have to stay within their transfer window. It just doesn't make any sort of sense to me. I think player movement should be allowed to happen whenever you like. So, for example, if you do get a new manager in, why should they have to wait until the transfer window opens to sign any players that they want? They should be able to go out into the market and say, right, this is now my new team. These are the players I want. I'm going to go get them. So that's that. I just feel that the transfer window and what is going on with it is just got out of control. So for example, with the January transfer window, which has just happened, you're seeing fees going up an astronomical amount because there's only that small gap, a month's period, where you've got to sign new players. Clubs that are selling know that the clubs who are buying are doing it for a reason. They are in trouble, they need extra players, blah blah blah. And because there's only a month gap to sign players, the transfer fees just go up. They go up through the roof, and it just, if a player can move whenever he wants, you won't see these inflated prices. We'll start to see them come down. It will just make the game better in terms of, like, people who don't like football see the fees are involved in football and they laugh because it's pathetic how much these players go for. It is absolutely ridiculous. And I just think that we need to start getting away from these inflated prices to have player movements that can be done. And I think that will eradicate some of those points, because it's only been recently that the transfer windows have actually been introduced. It was only back in 2002, 2003 that transfer windows were introduced into football, and it just seems that since then, along with TV monies, that the fees involved in football have just gone through the roof. Agents know that they can work their magic on certain clubs and take advantage because there's only a month gap to do it. And I think I'm mainly focusing on the January transfer window because the summer one, there's so much time to sort out your business. But the January transfer window, for me, needs to be looked at. What do you think? Let me know down in the comment section your thoughts. But let me go to Twitter and read out some of your thoughts. So we had Matthew commenting, who's also known as FootyGamer89. He's, well, you'll see his Twitter handle. You can go follow him on there. He says, no, the issue with doing that would be the increase in spending, and clubs could just unsettle players in order to gain an advantage. But I would like it as it would allow new managers to have a chance. Also, you could argue the window is restraint of trade. Kind of going a bit 50-50 on that one, Matthew. You see the advantage of it, but you see also the disadvantage, be increasing in spending. I don't agree. I don't agree. Football clubs and the prices that they pay for players are massively increasing the January transfer window. For me, if you allow people to move whenever they like, you would not see some of the astronomical fees that go in football these days. Thank you for your comment, Matthew. So Drew Kendall got in touch as well. He said, I think there should be only a summer transfer window. Disagree with that. Considering no one usually makes any signs in January, again, disagree, Drew. Plus, it prevent the rubbish in the papers a bit more. Well, I mean, papers are going to sell whatever they want to sell. That's just how they work. Restricting it to just a summer is even worse, in my opinion. I think if you just have a summer transfer window, that could cause all kinds of chaos. No one making signs in January. Again, I'm afraid you're wrong there, mate. The January transfer window, especially this one, has just gone absolutely berserk. It's gone completely off the chain on that, so I do not agree with that. But thank you for getting in touch. Old Lady Plays has got in touch and said, I'm old enough to remember the pre-window days. It was chaos. People uprooted all the time. Teams disrupted by tapping up. Rich teams buying their way out of an injury crisis. It is better the way it is now. He's also put a second part on here. Remember too that these young men have families which are also uprooted by transfers. It's hard on kids to change schools in mid-term rather than before school starts and all the winter holidays. Now, partly I do agree with that in terms of the uprooting in that, but the player doesn't have to go. If a transfer is agreed, they don't have to leave. And I'm not being funny, from a married partner's point of view, they should understand that what they're marrying into. If you're marrying a footballer, there's the chance you could move clubs and you will be uprooted. For the children, I get it. That's really, it's really not fair on the children. I've moved schools twice in my time, so I understand exactly how the kids feel. I kind of agree with the tapping up and the uprooting and the rich teams buying their way out of an injury crisis, but any club has the capability of them being able to negotiate with any club. I think you see it a lot in lower league football where there is no transfer window, and it just means that if a new manager comes in, somebody is in an injury crisis, it means that they can sign players whenever they like. I don't know, it feels better for me. As I said, if I was turned around and told that I could have changed my personal job because there's a window in place to say that I'm not allowed to move from place to place in certain time, I think I'd be pretty annoyed. But as I said, leave me down in the comment section what you think. Thank you very much for the guys who've got in touch on Twitter. As I said, in the comment section, or in the description rather, my Twitter handle is there. Go and follow me on Twitter, and next time I ask these kind of questions, you guys can get involved in being part of the video as well. Leave me down in the comment section what you think. I don't know if I've covered my point of view across, but I disagree with the transfer window. It is a ridiculous idea. Have it open at all, or have for the whole season, or I don't know what the alternative is. Leave me down in the comment section what you think. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch the video. Hit the like button or dislike it if you disagree, whatever the case may be. Leave a comment and subscribe if you want to see more content. And until we see each other next time, as always, adios.